actually like the Bears and the points here. I mean, you played the clip. We played the clip coming in, and it took a blocked field goal for Green Bay to win that game. Now we're asking them to win the game by 10 points. And I get that was a different Bears team, and there's not a whole lot of motivation. But here's the thing. Like, the Bears quit weeks ago, but, like, standalone game against Seattle, they played pretty hard. It was 6-3 or whatever that final score was. It made me sick. The Bears covered, but they played pretty tough. They didn't give up. And I just like the motivation's there for Green Bay if Washington loses, right? But Washington's playing Dallas. I think Washington's going to want a little bit of revenge. Dallas beat them earlier this season, and we're finding out like Trey Lance is going to play. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, you'd rather play the Rams or the Bucs than the Eagles, but I think Green Bay probably plays their guys. But even if they do, I think you might get a decent effort here from the Bears. It's the last game of the season. Then they could go do whatever they want, hit the golf course, hit the beach. So 10 points, rivalry game. Bears have lost 11 straight, 1-10 against the spread against Green Bay. They finally got a cover last time, but I think they hate the Packers enough to try in this spot. So I'll take Chicago plus 10 since nobody else wants them.
You're killing me.
Yeah, let the umbrella drinks flow. Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 points. Yeah, it's a lot. You state a pretty strong case. I could buy into that. I could buy into it, and it kind of feeds into my selection in this game. And I'm going to go with a player prop with the Windy City Representatives. Give me the over on DeAndre Swift receiving yards. That number just 11.5 at a minus 115 juice. I think it's too low. I play this up to like 14.5, quite frankly. The first game back in mid-November, that was week 11 against Green Bay. He had 2 receptions for 13 yards, and that's kind of the magic number is 2. If he gets 2 grabs, he is likely going to cash you over on 11.5, which he has done in 5 of his last 7 games. On the season, averaging 14.9 routes per game, 9.7 yards per reception. That's why I say that magic number being 2, simple math there. Gets a pair of catches, hits his yards per reception average, and it's an easy cash. 84% catch rate on the season. You look at Green Bay, number 9 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks, but 23 running backs have gone over 11.5 receiving yards against them as they've given up 5.4 receptions and 41.9 receiving yards a game, again, just to the running back position. So DeAndre Swift, Swifties unite, taking the over, 11.5 receiving yards at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. With that game done, so let's move on to the next game.
The Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos.
All right, Chiefs, Broncos. Denver has got to win to get in. And Kansas City not going to be playing a whole lot of their starters in this game. Maybe their defenders may see a couple of series, and that's it. A lot of the key offensive players not likely going to be on the field, if at all, for like a series or 2. Denver is laying 10.5 at home at Empower Field. The over-under at 40 in this contest. Horvat, backups? Screw the backups. Who cares? You're still liking KC, aren't you?
Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to win this game, most likely. They're minus 549 on the money line. This number, I just think, has gotten a little out of control, and this is what we get always week 18. This team needs to win. This team's playing their backups, so they crank up the numbers, and, usually I would just lay it with Denver, even at 10.5. But it's still Andy Reid in the defending 2-time Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are going for a three-peat. I think they're going to play to win this game with their backups. And I know it's Carson Wentz, man, but it's Carson Wentz with Andy Reid, and there's much worse backups. Look, I bet on I bet on DTR this year. I've bet on Gardner Minshew this year. I bet on the Titans 11 weeks, Will Levis, Mason Rudolph. I bet on the Jets every week. So I'm going to take a shot here with Carson Wentz as a 10.5 point dog. I just think that number's too big. I would love to use the Broncos in a teaser, but not at 10.5. Maybe a money line parlay. Not even going to do that. Just give me Kansas City plus 10.5.
All right, man. I believe believe in this game. I'm going to take Bo Nix on the over 1.5 passing touchdown. Standard minus 110 juice. And honestly, I think there should be like minus 150, minus 160. It makes no damn sense whatsoever. Bo Nix has been dealing, to say the least. I remember the first matchup against Kansas City. It was only 16-14 was the final. But in that game, Bo Nix went for 215 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He's thrown a pair of airstrikes in 6 of his last 7 games. He's number 10 on the season in red zone completion percentage. I understand Kansas City is number 3 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks. They have allowed those 7 quarterbacks to throw for not 1, but 2 touchdowns through the air. And again, we don't know how long the starters are going to be in uniform and on the field defensively for Kansas City in this game. Full-throated Denver Broncos fans in the house. Thunder's going to be galloping up and down the damn field. Bo Nix, not 1, but 2 passing touchdowns. I think it's a foregone conclusion. Give me that over on that prop. Again, at a minus 110 juice there at BetMGM. All right, with that game done, let's move on to the next game.
The Las Vegas Raiders, the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, Chargers, Raiders, LAC laying 4.5, over under at 41.5. Ryan side, total, player prop, SGP. What catches your attention?
I'm kind of intrigued by the total, right? Because the last time these two teams played, the total closed at 34 and they combined for 84 points. Remember that?
Yeah.
I still don't want to go over, though, but I don't know if that's a big enough adjustment. The Raiders have actually been playing decent football lately, right? Top 8 in defensive EPA per play, even after losing Max Crosby, and success rate if you're looking at it since week 11. Aiden O'Connell, he's never going to be an all-pro. He's probably never going to win a Super Bowl, anything like that, but he doesn't turn the ball over. And it comes down to what happens on Saturday, right? Like what the Chargers are playing for. I think that's what's to pay attention to here if you like the Raiders. I haven't bet it yet, but I would only play the Raiders at 4.5 or better. Now, if the Bengals win, a win over the Raiders would give the Chargers the 5 spot. If the Steelers win on Saturday, the Chargers, I believe, will be locked in for the 6th seed, and that's when I could see them resting some starters, especially in the second half. So I think that's something to look at, but I kind of like the points with the Raiders. Like I said, they've been playing pretty good ball. I'll take the 4.5. I think this is going to be the week of the dog. It's been nothing but favorites. Nobody's going to want to back these ugly underdogs. I think the Raiders might even win this game, so I'll take them with the points here.
All right, bow wow wow, yippee-yo, I'm going to go with the Raider myself. Jacoby Myers on the over 4.5 receptions at a minus 120 juice. LAC number 12 in pass EPD over last 5. Number 22 in most wide receiver receptions allowed, but it's going to get a lot of Desir Taylor in coverage. It's giving up a 72.4% catch rate, 147 flat passer rating. You look back, way back in week 1, 3 targets, 3 catches only in that game, but for 61 yards. He's caught at least 5 balls in 5 of his last 6, averaging 8.5 targets per game on the season, 5.6 receptions per game, and he's number 12 in total route wins. And bonus time. If Myers catches 5 balls, he's also going to cash the over, I believe, on 58.5 receiving yards. So there you have it.